Tammy Bruce, whose Fox Nation show is worth the subscription all by itself, is here. Tammy, there's a lot of this about. I see that Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston is planning to offer preferential health care based on race. Are you looking forward to this new regime?
Yes, and we see this flowing out kind of naturally, like it was a plan. And the fact of the matter is that the CDC is not just now ruining its brand. It started in 1932 and probably before. But there's a reason why certain Americans don't trust the big government and the medical establishment. In 1932, the Tuskegee experiments began, where the CDC told black men in Alabama that they were giving them free health care. And what they were doing was not treating them for syphilis, as they watched for 40 years what it would do to the human body. It was a human experiment, it was obscene, and it went from 1932 to 1972, and people wonder why the black community in this country doesn't trust the government. And now you've got the CDC and the federal health care saying, oh, we're coming back to help you again. We're going to spend COVID-19 funds to create racial equity in health care. And at Brigham Women's Hospital and a couple of doctors who teach at Harvard had put out an op-ed saying, in order to fix racial inequity in health care, and there is some, there's no mistake about that when it comes to racism in this country, but they're saying we need to implement the opposite racism effectively by giving race preferences for health care. This is the same, Mark, as the horrible Vietnam excuse of we had to destroy the village to save it. Americans have had enough of this. This is an excuse by the left to continue to divide Americans among race, because after all, Mark, if racism is a public health crisis, it means that your neighbor is a racist. It means tens of millions of Americans are racist, when the only entity that has really shown its malevolence toward most Americans, and certainly minorities in this country, is the massive, gigantic, bloated federal government that doesn't see us as people, but sees us as marks and shits on a piece of paper. So this is a horrible format that we've seen play out around the world that destroys countries, destroys trust by individuals in their neighbors. Americans have a way to stand up and say no by simply saying it and making sure that our voices continue to be heard.
Are you concerned that a lot of this stuff, you see, it would be in the university faculty lounge and you'd hear it in an NPR panel discussion, but it's now actually the same deadly paradigm is now seeping out to things like healthcare, things that matter, things that are life and death, the same sterile paradigm.
Well, and it's come out from the academy, which everyone dismissed as all those woke ideas and crazy talk will stay right there. It's never going to come out into society. And all those people were going to law school and medical school and to become social workers and teachers. And look what happened. And we're shocked, understandably, but Americans, no matter what our complexion or our political party, are looking at this and thinking, this is not what we voted for. This is not the American way, that this must be taken seriously, and it's not going to be government that helps us out of it. Government is, they're looking away from it as well. This is our responsibility, and we're going to be able to handle it, I think.
Thank you for that optimistic note, Tammy. I was getting a little depressed thinking of all that Biden unifying talk that doesn't seem to have gone anywhere since January. Tammy Bruce, ladies and gentlemen, still to come.